biggest inspiration and what have you learned from them?
I definitely would have to say my dad on this, as cheesy as it sounds. My dad grew up in the Chesapeake Bay on the water in Maryland, and like this tiny little shack house is falling apart. The dock is falling apart. He was not from a wealthy family at all. And he really ended up going and getting a master's degree. And he worked so hard for so many years, all throughout his 20s. He's worked so many jobs and was so committed to what he was doing, and he just wanted to build like a happy and wealthy family, and he wanted to give his kids everything he possibly could. And I've never seen a man more hardworking than my own father. He really can get through so many struggles that life throws his way. I've only seen him cry like once in my entire life, and I just always want to be like, not a businesswoman, but to the same level of success that he has. He's made such an impact on so many people. And that's something I've always wanted to do. And his persistence, like I definitely got my persistence from him, because he does not give up, and neither do I. It's definitely like a little family trait, but he is a great man. And I have always looked up to him to be just as hardworking as he is.
That's so amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Of course.
So, what is an example of a time that you experienced failure, and what advice do you have for overcoming that feeling?
So my freshman year, I was doing, and of college, my freshman year of college, I was doing social media. And at this point, my account had just like totally died. It had flattened, no growth, nothing. I felt defeated. I was posting videos every day and they would get like 50,000 views, and it would take me so long. And I was just defeated. I didn't know what else to do. So I got stuck at like, couldn't hit a million. It was like 930K for many, many months. And I didn't know what to do for a while. I stopped posting completely for like 3 months. I'd post like every week once. Then one day I just decided I want to do this. And I went to LA and I saw what everybody was doing and how they based their whole life around being an influencer. And it kind of was like a light bulb lit inside of me. And I was like, oh, I need to push. Like whatever I was doing before, it just wasn't clicking. So I started to push more and more, and I kept putting out my content every single day, even if it didn't do well. And I just kept learning and looking at, hey, this did well, maybe we should try that instead. And it was just kind of about overcoming the feeling of failing on the app, because so many people do fail. Like not every video is going to be viral, but you kind of have to look at it and be like, okay, this is a learning experience. Like it didn't do well because this was bad. Let me expand. I got like better lights. I started planning out the scripts. I did myself a little more purdied in all the videos. I really did everything I could to try to make my content better and expand on what I already had.
That's awesome. And it's obviously worked out.
I did. It ended up working in my favor.
So, what book or play or movie or musical or anything do you wish you had been introduced to sooner in life?
So there's this little movie called Flipped. I was obsessed with rom-coms and like teen movies and all of that kind of stuff. I would look on like lists to find the best ones. There was this one called Flipped, and it was about a girl. They were young. She had this huge crush on a boy who lived, I think it was across the street from her. Big crush on him, would do anything for him. And then one day she switched and he never liked her back. She decided she didn't like him. And throughout the whole movie, there are so many things about people that I think are like, let me get my train of thought. For a kid's movie, there's so many like hidden messages in it. Like the girl was willing to sit in this tree that they were trying to take down in her neighborhood, and she was protesting and like standing up for what she loved, even though it was just like a tree that had been planted there forever. She sat in that tree, let the bus go, didn't go to school. They had to like drag her out of it. And then they took the tree down, and she was so upset. But the reason it's called Flipped is because at the end of the movie, the boy ends up liking her and chasing her, but she's no longer interested because she realized that, I think it was like, are they like, is the person worth the sum of their parts? And she starts looking at people in a different light and thinking, well, if he didn't want me, then why should I want him? Or if they didn't do this for me, then like I shouldn't give any of my time to them. And it just taught a lot of lessons to me as a kid. And I started to look at things a different way. And it was like in a new light that I had never seen before. Like kind of not judging people based on what you see on the outside, but how they genuinely act as a person and like what they offer to you. And if it's nothing, then you have to like part your ways.
I love that, and I completely agree with that. Sometimes there's people in your life that even if they've been there for a while or they're you're close to them, sometimes at some point you're like, you know what, this relationship
Yeah.
isn't doing for me what it should be, and you
You're
have
like, this isn't working.
yeah, exactly. Like just because you've been in my life for a long time, or it used to be a good relationship, or we used to be close, doesn't mean that that's necessarily true now, and it's okay
Yeah.
to step back from that. And I think that's a really hard lesson to learn, especially as a teenager, when friendships feel like it's kind of the end of the world if they end. You know what I mean? Like you have your
Yeah.
group and you want to maintain it, and it can definitely be difficult to step away from that. But it's a skill that young people should learn because it's a healthy thing to do. Um, so I really like that. Okay, and the last question is, what did you struggle with the most during your teenage years, and how did you overcome it?
I definitely struggled a lot with bullying. I'm actually an anti-bullying advocate now. Kids are just really mean. And I know I had my moments where I was definitely not the nicest kid. I was a little rebellious at points, but the way people treated me, it was like I was not a person. They would make fun of me for my weight, for having acne. People would make fun of me for parts of my body that I couldn't even change and just like shame me or spread rumors about me. And oh my god, sorry. Um, I think when you say bullying, people kind of stereotype it as like, oh, like I made fun of their hair, like being like that girl's hair is greasy, but it's like not that. I had an experience my senior year where people were writing really awful things about me on the bathroom walls, like publicly for everyone to see. It was within the stalls, like on the toilet paper holder and everything. And they would just bully me to shreds. And I never ever want anyone else to go through that. And I think people don't understand how much bullying someone and making fun of them really affects their mental health, even if you don't see them crying in their room. Like it's still happening. And it's still something like people look at me now and they're like, wow, like you look great and you're successful. Like, how did you become this? And it was just because I kind of had to learn, push people out who don't care about you. I was holding on to too many people who didn't care about me, like all that kinds of stuff. And it took me a really long time to get over the bullying, and hate comments still get to me. Now it's like on a public scale, but it took me so many years to finally get over myself. And it kind of will give children issues too. Social anxiety and like stuff like that is so prevalent now because kids are mean. They say mean things and they don't think about consequences. They comment awful things on people's videos. So I'm just really like, no bullying. Let's stop it. Let's just be nice. If you don't have anything nice to say, move on. And really, those people who are making negative comments about others, they're just insecure in themselves. They lack self-love. That's always the answer. I've never had someone make fun of me who was fully confident and secure in themselves because those people don't feel the need.
Yes, absolutely. And you're right. When I feel like the word bullying has almost been overused in the sense
Mhm.
it's become when you say it, people think of it as so juvenile. Like you say bullying,
Yeah.
imagine like a fourth grade playground, and you're like, no, this is a thing that continues to happen throughout middle school, throughout high school. And I
Mhm.
don't think anyone ever sees themselves like, okay, I'm a bully, I'm a mean person, but it happens, and it is an absolutely real thing. And thank you for sharing that story. But it absolutely is yes. Watching it happen it's really hard, whether it's happening to you or you're watching it happen to someone else. It's really hard, and sometimes it's as a teenager you kind of don't know where to draw the line. Like, is this something that I report? Is it something that I just deal with? How do I is reporting it really only makes it worse most of the time.
Yeah.
And that can be a really difficult position to be in. So yes, I absolutely agree with your anti-bullying advocacy. I actually, my silver award for Girl Scouts, this is my gold award, but my silver award was actually an anti-bullying PSA that I did with my troop.
I
Yeah,
love that.
at my school.
I'm
And
all for it.
yeah, we
People
did.
definitely overuse the word. They just think of it like as like kind of a meme now. They're like, "Oh, you're a bully." Like, what is that like? But it's a real thing. Like that's how you classify someone who picks on other people. Like you're a bully.
And cyberbullying too is a huge
Mm-hmm.
thing now. And I feel like people think if a story's private or if it's this is fine, it's just a group chat, but no. Those
No,
things.
it gets back to people. Like they will see it, and also like when you put something on the internet, it's there forever. One person takes a screenshot, it's out of your control. Like it's going to be on the internet for the rest of your life. So why would you make a fake profile and a fake name and then comment something terrible? Like it's still your phone. Someone can find out that it was you. And then what do? You're like, oh, sorry.
It really is. It's a problem. It really is a problem. I mean, all over TikTok, obviously, the hate comments there, and I've had instances even within my friend group where my friends or siblings of my friends were being just horrendously cyberbullied, and it was kind of like, well, it was a private story, or it was a private group chat. It was just friends talking, and it's like,
Mhm.
these mean things are still being said. You wouldn't say that to this person. I would hope not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. I wish the word had carried more weight than I think it does in our society, because I think it's just associated so much with younger children or like middle schoolers, but people are mean in high school, and you're absolutely right. It comes from a place of insecurity and a place of wanting to point out flaws in others to make you feel better about yourself. 110%. So, thank you so much. Is there anything else
Of
that you
course.
add? Any other stories that you want to tell, or anything that you want to share?
Um, Not that I can think of. I think I went on a bullying spiel for like 5 minutes.
No, that was awesome. That was perfect. That's a weird way to say that. That was awesome. But I do have like 2 more really quick questions for you.
Mhm.
The first one is, what is your favorite Girl Scout cookie?
Oh, not Thin Mints. No offense to Thin Mints. What are those like Samoas? I think there's Samoas, like the peanut butter ones,
Okay,
or anything.
peanut butter ones, or tagalongs, or dosi dos?
Tagalongs.
Tagalongs.
That's what they're called. Oh my god, those are so good.
Are really good. I'm with you. I think Thin Mints, they're good, but they're very overrated, I think.
They are. They kind of like just. It's just not. It doesn't give what I need it to. I'm like, I take a bite and I think it's gonna be great, and I'm like, well, it's like, all right.
It's okay. I think it's better as a topping. Like they're
Crush
like,
it.
consistency. Yes, like crush them and put them in brownies or something, like on ice cream. Like they have the consistency to do that. But I agree. I bite into it and I'm like, it's good. It's a good cookie. It's good. Like like the pyramid audio would be like in the middle of the pyramid.
Yeah, it's like fine. It's like a 6.
Okay, yeah. And my last question is there anyone that you could recommend to me that you think would be a good fit for this project, that maybe I could interview, that you could put me in touch with?
I would like questions like that. Probably my friend Maddie. I don't know if you watch Maddie too, but Maddie's also gone through a lot. We were just like trauma dumping on each other, so they would probably have a lot to say.
Okay, awesome. That would be great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. I can get y'all in contact. I will tell them.
Thank you. I really, really appreciate that.
Of course.
Awesome. And I think that's it. So again, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate this. It's really, really cool to meet you.
Thank you. It's so cool to meet you too. It was so fun talking to you.
You as well. Thank you.
Of course.
Bye.
Have a good one. Bye.